Well, I think a lot of this is just indicative of the popularity of Bitcoin as an asset class. It's now the world's most popular investment asset. It's novel, it's digital, it's global, it's unique, and it's uncorrelated to traditional risk assets because it doesn't come with exposure to any given country, currency, company, quarterly result, product cycle, competitor, not to weather, not to war, not to an employee base or supply chain. And so that makes it a natural addition to the portfolio of a responsible investor.
MicroStrategy founder and executive chairman Michael Saylor has applauded the ongoing Bitcoin rally, which he says is indicative of how popular the leading cryptocurrency has become among institutional investors. During a recent interview with CNBC, Saylor explained that institutional investors have been waiting for an opportunity to directly invest in Bitcoin for years. Saylor added that when the SEC approved BlackRock's and 10 other Bitcoin ETF applications, a floodgate worth hundreds of billions of dollars was opened. As a result, Saylor is expecting a flood of investments into the leading cryptocurrency. According to the former MicroStrategy CEO, Bitcoin's demand is now 10x the normal demand, which is why prices are going higher. However, prices will climb even higher after the 2024 halving event, which is expected to create a significant supply shock. During the interview with CNBC, Saylor also talks about the decision to turn MicroStrategy into a Bitcoin development company. He explains that the rebranding is to reflect the success the software company has enjoyed by adopting the leading cryptocurrency as a treasury asset. We will now bring you clips from the interview. Please watch, share, and like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on post notifications for more videos. Thanks, and enjoy the video.
There's 10 years of pent-up demand. People have been waiting for these ETFs, and finally, mainstream investors are able to access Bitcoin. And I think that's what's driving the surge of capital in the asset class. And initially, there was a rebalancing as people were moving capital between the futures market and the miners and MicroStrategy and the ETFs. But following that rebalancing, I think the assets found its footing, and now people are beginning to realize that there's 10 times as much demand for Bitcoin coming in through these ETFs as there is supply coming from the natural sellers who are the miners.
You rebranded the company, or announced the rebranding of the company as a Bitcoin development company. What does that mean?
Well, it's a natural decision for us, given the success of our Bitcoin strategy and our unique status as the world's largest public company holder of Bitcoin. MicroStrategy is an operating company that can actively manage its capital structure and its business operations with more flexibility than an investment trust, which is what these spot ETFs are. So we're going to develop software. We're going to generate cash flow. We're going to leverage the capital markets, all in order to accumulate more Bitcoin for our shareholders, and also to promote the growth of the Bitcoin network. Given the fact that the majority of enterprise value is now based upon those Bitcoin-related activities, it makes sense for us to call ourselves a Bitcoin development company in the same way as you see a real estate development company or a petroleum development company. Well, we're going through a transition from on-premises to cloud, and AI is a really big driver of that transition. So there's a lot of enthusiasm for our new AI offering, and we built it into the cloud offering. Just as you can see, people excited about Microsoft's Copilot AI offering and it driving their revenues. We think that our AI offering is also going to drive an acceleration of migration from on-premise to the cloud, and over time it'll allow us to continue to grow the business. Well, you know, we're fortunate to be able to manage our capital structure actively and in a creative way. So sometimes we look to equity markets when that's the best way to acquire Bitcoin. But we've also done converts, and we continue to look at the convert market. We can refinance debt. We've refinanced our debt in the past and retired debt before. So we may issue debt, we may retire or refinance debt. We also are looking at potential preferred equity issuances or anything else that might be accretive to our shareholders. We try to be open-minded, prudent, thoughtful, and opportunistic as these opportunities present themselves.
MicroStrategy's Bitcoin journey started in August 2020, when the company announced that it had adopted Bitcoin as its primary treasury reserve asset. Its first Bitcoin purchase was worth about $250 million. Today, the Bitcoin development company holds 190,000 Bitcoin, purchased at an average of $31,224 per coin at a total cost of $5.93 billion. Despite investing almost $6 billion in Bitcoin, Saylor has revealed that the company has no intention of stopping at any point. But MicroStrategy is not just a Bitcoin investor, it is also a Bitcoin developer. The company has launched several initiatives to support the growth and adoption of the Bitcoin network and ecosystem, including its MicroStrategy World Now virtual event for organizations and its famous Bitcoin for Corporations, a free online course that teaches executives and entrepreneurs how to buy, store, and use Bitcoin as part of their corporate strategy. Popular Bitcoin investor and YouTube personality Anthony Pompliano has also recently expressed bullish sentiments about Bitcoin and Bitcoin ETFs. In a recent interview with Fox News, Pomp predicts that Bitcoin will hit new all-time highs in 2024. Here are some clips from the interview.
The alarm's good for Bitcoiners. If you think about what's happening right here, Wall Street's getting an intelligence test. If you paid attention in Economics 101, you're going to pass this test. There is hundreds of millions of dollars per day flowing into these Bitcoin ETFs, and there's only about $40 to $45 million of net new Bitcoin being produced. So there's 12.5 times more demand than there is supply being created every single day. If there's that much demand and that little supply, the price has got to go up to accommodate everyone. And so my guess is that we're about to see Bitcoin continue to grind up over the next couple of weeks. Well, the Bitcoin's not being held back, right? I mean, It was at 47 and went down to 40,000 because everyone was dumping GBTC. Now all of a sudden we're back to 50,000. I think 50,000 is a psychological level as well. People get really excited. They say, hey, we're going back towards all-time highs. And as soon as Bitcoiners start saying it, somehow it usually happens.
It does, right? Now, you say you've got the next big bet. Share that with us.
Yeah, so if you look at what happened with the Bitcoin ETF, right? Bitcoin is an asset. It's now been accepted within Wall Street, and now people want to get access. And so we have these Bitcoin ETF issuers. I think that the next big run of equities is going to end up being in altcoin ETFs. And what I mean by that is forget which coin or which protocol, but the altcoin ETF issuers, I think, are going to have a great run over the next 2 years. I've made 3 bets here. I invested in Bitwise. I invested in a company called 21 Shares. And then the only publicly traded company is something called DeFi Technologies. And all 3 of these, they basically want to give people exposure to assets. They don't care which one you pick. They just want to make sure that it's easier for you to put money into this ecosystem in this industry, and I think all 3 will do well. The beauty of Bitcoin is that it's a decentralized organization. There is no CEO, there's no board of directors, and there is no marketing team, but price is the marketing campaign. And as the price goes up, more people talk about it. We're talking about it here today. More investors start to pay attention. They put capital in, and has this positive, reflexive kind of mechanism, which will drive the price higher and higher, which gets more people talking about it, and that's what leads to the outperformance.
So what's the all-time high?
The all-time high is $69,000. The most entertaining outcome of course, is exactly what's going to happen.
But you think we'll at least test that this year, maybe?
I think that we'll go to a new all-time high before the end of the year, especially if we continue to see hundreds of millions of dollars flowing into these ETFs every day.
Meanwhile, senior Bloomberg ETF analyst Eric Balchunas has revealed another important milestone for the Bitcoin ETFs. According to a recent post from the ETF analyst, the newborn 9 ETFs and Grayscale's GBTC have recorded over $3 billion in net cumulative flows, a feat it took the GLD almost 2 years to achieve. Here is Eric's tweet. The net cumulative flows for the 10 Bitcoin ETFs, including GBTC, has doubled in the past 3 days to over $3 billion. For context, it took GLD nearly 2 years to get to this point. The 9 alone are nearing $10 billion in flows. In a follow-up tweet, he added, IBIT now 4th in overall year-to-date flows, out of 3,400 ETFs, rubbing elbows with the biggest and the best. FBTC is also there at 7th. Even if you account for a little GBTC inflow help, which was but a fraction of their intake, it's wild shit. This is no doubt a historic moment for Bitcoin, and by extension, the entire cryptocurrency space. Despite the unprecedented levels of inflows these ETFs have had in just 1 month, experts say there is much more to come. There are still many institutions being orange-pilled, which means more demand and higher prices for Bitcoin. What are your thoughts on Saylor's and Pomp's interviews and the latest Bitcoin ETF milestone shared by Eric? Please drop your comments and observations in the comments section below. Also, ensure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on post notifications for more videos like this. Thanks for watching.